Hey, this is Pietro from the limited edition, your favorite, hopefully, channel and broadcast about the world of artisan independent watchmaking. Today is one of those days where I really wake up and I really realize how much I love my job, if we can call it a job. Of course, I'm sure my wife will disagree with that, but today is one of those days where we show you the result of our activities of scouting, finding, researching new watchmakers. We often make the analogy with the world of art, and if we accept that watchmaking is definitely a form of art, well, there is a number of young watchmakers every year that either get their degrees in watchmaking or they go through a journey of pure development of passion. But the fact is, there are every year new watchmakers that are keen to showcase their ability, their ideas, their new designs, or new ways of conceiving mechanical watchmaking. And this is actually a watchmaker that I discovered, I would say, incidentally, and I was immediately actually drawn from the design perspective to the way that he has intended showcasing his work. So today we have Samuel Soleilhac from the homonymous brand. Shall we call it a brand now? Samuel will tell us. But Soleilhac Watches. Samuel, welcome to the limited edition. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Pietro.
Where are you broadcasting from, Samuel? You're based in France, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm based in Annecy, half an hour from Geneva, so not that far from Geneva.
Another beautiful place, no? With a beautiful lake as well over there.
Yeah, this is a great place, yeah.
Yeah, mountains, lake, and a lot of tranquility and peace, no? To work as a
Exactly.
watchmaker.
No, this is, I would say, one of the greatest places in France. Yeah, I live here, so I said that. But yeah, I think it could be partially true.
Great. So, Samuel, quite importantly, your family name, Soleilhac, is also the name of the brand that you are launching. First of all, I hope I have clarified the way this is pronounced. So, soleil, like a sun, the sun in French, soleil.
Yeah, exactly.
And then ac without the h, the English h. So, Soleilhac, yeah?
Soleilhac, that's perfect.
Fantastic. So we would have kind of, from the name, you would expect some kind of astronomical complication, perhaps, in the future. But for now, let's see through Sam. Thank you, Sam, for being with us and for masterminding all these live broadcasts. Sam is going to show us now the fruit of your researches, studies, and passionate endeavors over the last few years. You're now ready to launch this project that we see now in front of us. Can you talk about it, and how did you get the idea, first of all, and the urge to launch your own watchmaking enterprise?
Yeah, actually, I can talk back when I was a kid. It's a long story, but I'm gonna make it shorter. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be an architect. I was always passionate how to build things in general. This was the idea, but I wasn't very good at school when I was younger. Wasn't very interested at school also, which is not great, but yeah, it is what it is. And then when I grew up, architect wasn't a possibility for me. I wasn't good enough. So I go to other paths, like being a personal trainer. I've done that for a few years. Then wasn't passionate about that. Say, okay, let's try something else. So I got a master's degree in cybersecurity. I worked as consultant in Geneva for 1.5 years. And I think when I moved closer to Geneva, I've been interested more and more about watches, how it works. And this is where I started to buy books a lot, all kind of technical books. And I said, okay, I wanted to be an architect. This is quite similar, smaller for sure. I love mechanics in general, boats, cars, and watch. And I said, okay, I think we can do something. So it was now 2 years ago when I started the first project. Yeah, it was just the beginning. So with the books, some great books like Traité de construction horlogère, who allows me to understand how it works, how to make the calculation from scratch to really develop a movement. And yeah, I just took my CAD software and made the calculation and tried to build some parts, 3D parts on my computer. And yeah, building the concept from a first concept, which wasn't that good, but it was the first one, and then it evolves. And really wanted to bring something different in the watch. So the case is inspired by Daniel Roth. This was my initial inspiration, and I said, okay, I want to make it a bit sportier. This is where I decided to put some angles on the bezel. So yeah, it's been 2 years ago now, and now the company is legally set up, and let's go.
Yes, absolutely. We did a preview to our private collectors a few days ago, and we had some really good interest. And it's quite surprising how, as an architect, it's kind of obvious you got fascinated with the architecture of the mechanics, and the first image we had on could exemplifies that with how the movement architecture actually looks different to most we are used to. But also there is this element with the design, no? Because we all love rectangular shapes in watches, but it's something that is becoming rarer and rarer as the market is showing that actually the trend is always predominantly for the rounded cases. So what was the first step for you? You said obviously studying about movement architecture. That's where you started. So is the movement the first thing that you worked on to then work out the design around the movement, or the two things happen at the same time? And if so, how?
I would say mechanics first, and it was really the idea of the movement first, and then yeah, let's put the design around the movement. This was really the idea. Yeah, to make a quick quick talk about the two micro-rotors. So initially, it wasn't two micro-rotors at all. It was like a pendulum that you can see on Instagram on the first picture on Instagram. My thought was I was looking at boats actually on the lake, and I said, okay, why currently we have electric boats? It does exist, and why it could recharge itself with the waves, the movement of boats, and yeah, I make like a link between the watch that could wind itself and the boat. And what this is not the case on boats. I'm sure there are hundreds and hundreds of reasons because this is not the case. So yeah, maybe I say, okay, we can move something like that. And this was the main idea. And I thought about a clock on a boat, and I said, okay, maybe a pendulum shape could rewind the clock on a boat. This was a bit far from the inspiration, but it was the beginning. And I said, okay, let's put a pendulum in a watch. This was the first idea. And yeah, you can see on Instagram, there is like a micro-rotor in a pendulum shape. I haven't done any calculation, just the thought. And I said, okay, let's try something like that. And after doing all the calculation, it was clearly impossible to have this kind of pendulum in the watch because it wasn't heavy enough, it wasn't long enough, and yeah, for multiple reasons. And I said, okay, we need to add weights to make this pendulum work properly. So I added a traditional micro-rotor. So in the end, we have like a pendulum and a micro-rotor. And it was the project, until the beginning of this year, 2025. And I said, okay, people don't know exactly what this pendulum is for. And it wasn't clear. Someone told me it looks like a lollipop. And I said, okay, the design is not clear. We need to move forward and to change few things to be sure the design is understood. And this is why I said, okay, let's just put two micro-rotors in a micro-rotor shape. And this way we know the purpose and this is clear.
So let me, for a second, rebroadcast then the video that we saw at the beginning for those that are just connecting now,
Sure.
and then we talk about the double micro rotor. So what comes to mind technically, and here I always like to remind people that I'm not a watchmaker myself, so I learn every time. And I sometimes would ask very genuine and sometimes maybe silly questions, but I think they are useful to fully appreciate and understand what we are looking at. The two rotors, first of all, in which material have you chosen to have them? Because of course you pointed out before about how important the weight is when you're relying on a micro rotor, on any rotor, but especially the micro rotor to wind the mechanism. And secondly, are we talking about bidirectional rotors?
Okay, yeah, sure. The material is platinum for those rotor. Yeah, the idea was to find the heaviest, but still much appreciated and luxury metal. So it was the good fit for the golden rose gold version. It's gonna be in gold, in rose gold, to match everything. So in this picture, we can see this is still
Beautiful.
in gray. So,
Beautiful.
but yeah, it's gonna match the color case. And yeah, what was the second question? Sorry.
So the second question is: are the rotors, as the video suggests, are they bidirectional, and how they work with the ratchet wheel that we see behind the two rotors?
Yeah, exactly. So most of people understood how it works because they need to move together. This was really the idea, because if you put a differential or something else, they could slightly move in a different speed and a different way, and it won't be good for the winding system. So it is an obligation. They are directly linked together by this big wheel in the middle. The advantage is that given we don't have to respect some teeth, I would say ratio, like for the escape wheel, we really have to have a proper number of teeth for each wheel. For the winding system wheels, we can change it and we can adapt to have really what we want, and we can play a bit with the design. This is why you can see a big wheel in the middle. I wanted to have this floating wheel. It's gonna be not directional, bidirectional rotors. Even though in this video it was really to show how it works on both side, I would say, but it's gonna be unidirectional for those rotors. So this is really the compound weights that makes the winding
Yeah,
system work
and
properly.
I'm really happy we clarified that, because of course from seeing at the video it could have
Yeah, of course.
suggested differently. And so they move in unison, the two rotors, they move together and they move unidirectionally. So they're basically giving the ratchet wheel the opportunity to then wind basically
Exactly.
the spring in the barrel, and then obviously store the energy that is needed then to get the watch to work. Very basically.
Exactly.
One detail. So there's a lot to say with this movement architecture. We'll go to the finishing later on, but I see you've done a semi see-through barrel at the bottom with a click that is very visible. The click,
Exactly.
obviously, I'm sure it will sound beautifully, which is one of the things I like the most in a watch. Was that as well something you wanted to, or you kind of stumbled across the idea as you were developing the movement?
Yeah, actually, I was trying few design to see which one fits the best the movement, and in the end, I wanted something very traditional with a simple spring, like small metal sheet and the small click in the end. So very classical, I would say. Yeah, I thought about many ways of doing it, but I had some space actually, and say, okay, we can put like a nice thin spring here, and it's gonna look like yeah something very classical, a bit traditional.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have to admit, I like
and
it.
the click will be visible as well.
Yeah, exactly.
As it happens, yeah, which is something I really like. And yeah, in terms of the architecture, again, this movement doesn't look like anything else, and of course, it's been developed in this shape as a in-house development. No, do you want to talk to us about that? Because I know you're a movement constructor, a movement architect. Architect, I'll call you. Considering your background. So, are you relying on artisans then to carry out the work in both the construction of the movement and the finishing?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you mentioned a few times the term watchmaker. I do not consider myself as a watchmaker. I would love to be a watchmaker, but I'm not skillful on that part. This is, yeah, I'm more about how to design a movement, how to build, to architect the movement. But yes, I will rely on skillful artisan. For example, on the movement construction, I don't want to take any risk with this first project. So it's going to be Bruno Herbert who will be responsible to review all the work, to rebuild from scratch all the movement, to be sure everything works perfectly. I would love to say this is me. I've done everything from scratch. This is the case until now. But now I need to be sure that everything will be perfect for the subscription and for the first deliveries. So yeah, this is an obligation on my point of view for the first watch here, and of course yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was just pointing out, of course, we'll talk about the subscription because this is very much the incipit, the beginning of your story. So there is an interesting opportunity to be an early bird and to access early on something that is, I have a clear feeling is going to be something really strong. One of the choices I really liked as well is how you worked with contrast between not only the dial and the case, which we're going to talk about later, but within the movement. You use platinum for the micro-rotor, and is it German silver for the main
Exactly.
body of the movement?
Yeah, for the main plate and the bridges, this is German silver. I love this warmth in the color, and I think this is great with the bridges that maintains the two micro-rotors. The contrast is great between a black polished small part and the other big bridges in German silver. So
It's
yeah,
very true. It's very true, and you can see how the Côte de Genève that you're having oblique, obviously across
exactly.
Côte de Genève, and the frosting as well, all around the click and the barrel. It really pops out. Makes me think a bit. I really love. There's a couple of watchmakers like Zeitwinkel and Atelier Haute Complication that they've used German silver in their movements, and they are actually some of my favorite movements. And talking about Atelier Haute Complication, I know that so most of the movement will be in-house, and you are collaborating with Atocalpa for some of the parts.
Yeah, exactly. So they will be responsible to produce the balance wheel, the escape wheel, and the anchor. So all the escapement parts, they will be responsible to build it and to make it, make it, I would say, perfect. They are
And the rest
really,
is
yeah.
and the rest is built by Bruno Herbert, and he will do the assembling as well of the movement.
No, I don't think so. Actually, all the part from the movements will be made by Jean-Marc Fleury in
Yeah,
Geneva. So
yeah,
most of part will be done by him. Wheels and pinions by brothers Munch. So this is Munch. This is the surnames, and so I would say those are the two principal provider for the rough part, I would say. So without finishing at first, and for the finishing, I will rely on Emilia Reverchon for all those parts mainly. And
yeah.
so people who are involved in this project are still are still aware that I want to work with them for this project.
Yeah.
it could change slightly for a few details maybe in the future. But yeah, I do like those people. They are very skillful, and this is not only a question of skills. This is only a question of people, and this is a very important part for me.
Of course, yeah, and yeah, thank you, Sam. We're switching now to the design part and to the dial. I really like on this titanium version how you are projecting this vertically brushed, mixed with mirror polished lines, silhouette of the case. So you said the inspiration came from Daniel Roth. What else can we say about the design itself?
Yeah, I think I wanted to emphasize the micro-rotors on the dial. And this is why for the dial, I choose something very simple, not very bold, but it wasn't the idea. The idea was to keep the focus on those rotors. So I didn't want to play with colors that much on this dial, but plus with texture, engraves brand, for example. I don't want it a big name, my name on the dial, something too much visible, and so playing with lights and texture was really the idea with this dial, and I think we can talk
there's
about.
There's a very minimalistic side to it. Once you showcase the micro rotors that are obviously the big mechanical art of this piece, then the rest is very minimalistic and with a certain style, of course.
Yeah, of course, this was really the idea, and yeah, I don't want to I don't know, to be focused on anything else. Yeah, really the focus on the rotors was the idea here.
Yeah, the dial. So I really like the combination between that vertically brushed central part and the frosted elements on the small second and the chapter ring as well. Chapter ring that is interrupted from 50 to 10, obviously to house and to focus and channel the attention completely on the mechanics of the micro rotors. Is this dial then German silver as well?
Yeah, exactly. So there is a treatment because German silver, I talked with many people who are involved in making dials, and they told me German silver with time could look a bit rusty. This is not very rusty, but the color can change a bit. So we need to apply a treatment to be sure the German silver will not look bad in the future. So this is German silver, but with kind of treatment to be sure everything looks the same in 5 or 10 years or even 20 years.
Yeah. And my ignorance, but is it also rhodium treated like you would do with the bronze, for example?
This is not rhodium treated. This is just a galvanic treatment. Actually, we can change the color. We can put any color we want, but the idea is to keep the color of the German silver.
Yeah. There will be quite a bit of work with those screws that are so visible, obviously, on the side of the dial.
Exactly.
How are they going to be finished, and who you're relying on for the finishing of the screws?
So for the screws, it's going to be Emilien Reverchon as well. It's going to be polished. So rounded polish for those screws.
Amazing. Very good. There is also a version in pink gold that is part of the subscription as well, with a slightly fantastic aventurine dial that it makes me smile. And the first time you show me this, I was really, really impressed because the contrast you create with that aventurine and the pink gold case is sublime.
Yeah. Sorry, my birds. Yeah, actually, it wasn't the initial plan. And I said, okay, let's try aventurine. I saw many watches in aventurine dial and say, it looks good and I do like it. Let's try to put it on the watch and let's see what it looks like. And I really liked it. And I said, okay, let's try to put a rose gold case and see what it could look like. And I said, okay, yeah, I do like them, and I want to put them in the subscription and to offer a bit more possibilities to people. So we still have the titanium and with the sand dial, which is quite classy, and this one is a bit more bold, I would say. And I try something, and once again, I really like it, and this is maybe my favorite, I think.
I find it very tasteful as well, and the choice of the decoration of the case, you actually sticking to the same vertically brushed, mixed with the edges that are obviously beveled and or mirror polished. It really works. Tell me something about. I think the integration of the bracelet really strikes me to be perfect. Is it going to be an easy release kind of bracelet? How have you engineered that?
No, it's gonna be with a simple pin. You have to drag the pin to remove the bracelet. So it won't be like an automatic. We can see the pin here. This is the render, but still a
Yeah.
small pin will be there, and we just can drag it, and we can remove the bracelet
Okay.
here. And I wanted like to keep a small sporty look. This was the initial inspiration, and this is why I would really want to integrate the strap, the bracelet in the case. Just to fit
Brilliant.
perfectly, and I didn't want to go with the traditional, I would say, lugs, even though I like them. And it's going to be maybe for the next one, I don't know. But for this one, I still wanted to keep like a small sporty touch, even though this is not that sporty. This is in the mix, I would say.
Yeah, I really like that you kept the same shape of the bezel, the front bezel as the back bezel. So the view on the watch, either the mechanical part or the dial side, is actually the same. It's like it's really a mirror of each other. I really like that. So to recap for our watch lovers and collectors, they may want to jump on board early enough. You are working on 18 pieces in total, yes, for the first subscription of. Actually, I can't believe it. I haven't mentioned the name of the collection, which is Harmonie. So Harmonie,
Exactly. Yeah, this is the name of this model, Harmonie.
Harmony that I think you have achieved between mechanics, sophistication, and minimalistic traits of the design. So I think it's a very fitting name. So 18 pieces, yes, and distributed between basically two cases, titanium and gold, correct?
Exactly. This is the case, yes. Actually, I did not want to say, okay, there is 5 pieces in rose gold, 5 in titanium with the sundial, and 5 or something like that. I really want to give the opportunity of collectors to have the piece they want. So if it's 10 rose gold, it's going to be 10 rose gold and 5 titanium and 3 other titanium with aventurine dial. So I didn't want to restrict exactly the name on each, because I don't know if collectors would like the aventurine dial or not, if they want rose gold or titanium. So
For now, they can mix and match between the two cases and the two dials, the aventurine dial or the German silver dial, or the titanium case or the pink gold case. So there is a bit to play around, and then obviously the pricing will be different, no, for the two cases in particular.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the pricing is a bit higher for the rose gold, which is normal because the gold is quite high currently. So yeah, this is an obligation, and of course the aventurine dial is a bit higher in price as well compared to a German silver dial. So yeah, the price are a bit different, not that much I would say between all those versions, but still there is a difference, yes.
So maybe we can give a bracket between the entry price, which would be the titanium case with a German silver dial. What could you give us the retail price and the subscription offer price?
Okay, yeah, sure. So the subscription price for this one, so for the titanium with the cent dial, is 49,000 Swiss franc, excluding taxes, and the retail price will be 59. For the aventurine with the titanium, so this one, it's going to be 52 for the subscription and 62 for the retail price. And the final one, the rose gold with the aventurine dial, it's 59 for the subscription, and it's going to be 74 for the retail price in the future.
Okay, and on this, of course, some of you have already booked their own piece. As you know, just through a deposit that can be transferred to the limited edition. Then we'll make sure we get the allocation through Samuel, and then delivery should start pretty much when, Samuel?
So the prototype is expected for Q3 2026 next year, and the first deliveries are expected for the end of 2026. So this is the plan currently.
Yeah.
And the idea is to finalize the subscription for the end of the year. I think we are in a good path currently, so I'm pretty optimistic. And I think with the Dubai Watch Week in November, it's going to be a good opportunity to be there and to finalize the subscription.
Yeah, finally, I'll be there as well. I was not sure, but I will be there for 2-3 days. So it'll be an absolute pleasure to see you there.
Of course.
And yes, Samuel, congratulations on your venture, in your journey.
Thank you.
So far. Congratulations for the great feedback we've been having after showing this both on our website and privately on our WhatsApp, obviously, community. And we look forward to see how much interest this video will attract, and wish you really all the best from now to when the watch will actually take shape and exist in real life.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Pietro. It was a pleasure to meet you, to discuss with you, and it was a pleasure, and see you in Dubai.
Absolutely. See you very soon. Thank you, Samuel. All the best.
Thank you. My pleasure. Bye. Bye-bye.